think we're ready to start. Welcome to this webinar on Rapido 3.0. This is the release presentation, and 3.0 is a couple of months old. Some of you might have used the Rapido 3.0 solution already. If you have any questions during this talk, feel free to write in the question pane, and we'll take the questions as we go along. So, and with me today, that's of course me, Nikolai, and I also have Jennifer, who's the product manager and responsible of development of Rapido 3.0. Today, we're going to talk to you about the headlines and the new features that was released with this version. Some of the things are the new categorized tabs on the website settings, making it more easy to work with that. The possibility of using videos and notification overlays, which is a new great feature for selling or gaining some conversions on your website. Loyalty points has been implemented, and extensibility points for templates is another new thing. So we'll walk you through all of these new features, and I'll hand over the word to Jennifer.
Yeah, so we have divided this to different categories. So for now, let's talk about design and layout. And one of the main things that you probably have seen from 2.0 to 2.1 is that the different sections before in the website settings was entirely long, and it was really hard to get an overview over the different settings there. So therefore, we have divided into different tabs. So you, for example, have a layout tab for the different coloring and the design of the website in general, and then we have the product list tab as well, where we can define how the different lists should be presented, either grid details or a list view, and also how the design should be for that. Then we also have the product page configuration, and beforehand in 2.0 2.1 it was really fixed the different configuration that was there. So we have applied all the settings here in order to set up the design for that specific product page that you want to present your product information as well. And then we have all the other tabs as well for e-commerce and settings and your own custom settings if you have that. If you go further to content and marketing, we also have on our paragraph container, we are now able to add a video background, and you do that by simply just add, for example, a YouTube link on the paragraph container, and then it will be presented in a loop in the front end. And also we have different kind of heights that you can define for the container paragraph. We have the small, medium, large, and so on. But now we can also tell that the height of it should be based on the screen height that is on your device, so the full screen height. Oh. Then we have implemented this pop-ups or overlays, as we call it in Rapido. Here you can place different kind of overlays over for a specific page and content. You can add one or multiple if you like, where you can define header, text, pictures, a link to an insert page, but you could also apply a form to it as well. And also one of the things that has been proven that I will come back to that, because we have made some fixes regarding to the hotfix, but I will come back to that. But you can define how this pop-up should look like, where it should be placed, and the different kind of action for it as well.
Yeah, and I think we have a question on the video backgrounds, if it's possible to use Vimeo links as well. Don't think that's possible.
No, right now it's just YouTube.
Yeah, but it's a relatively small change to the template if you want to do the Vimeo. And we have another question on overlays, if it is possible to show it only the first time you visit a page using a cookie warning or anything.
Actually, that's one of the things that we also will go back to regarding the 3.01 hotfix, because we have thought of that, and that was some of the input that we got from the partners as well. So I will go down to deep regarding that specific question later.
But the question is yes.
Yes.
No, the answer to the question is yes.
Then we also have provided supports for Facebook pixels and Google Tag Manager and Rapido. So you can create different kind of events when you, for example, add a product to a cart for it. So in settings, in website setting, and in the settings tab, you can apply this key here for Google Maps API key, but I'm sorry, Google Tag Manager ID, but also Facebook Pixel ID in here. If you go further to e-commerce, we can set videos on. We can set videos on the product page, which was not possible before. So here we have here we just insert a embedded link again into that specific product, and then we can have a 3-grid list here. So if you, for example, add 2 videos, it will be expanded so it shows a 2-grid video list, but it can have maximum 3-grid on the row.
Yeah, and we have a couple of questions. The first one is about statistics on the layover, and currently there's no statistics on that, and I think we discussed that, Gerard, and we'll have that as part of a later version. Dynamicweb 9.6 will have a new statistics module that will also be able to pick up some of these information, and later on it will have to be implemented in Rapido to do that. And we have a question from Richard saying, can you show one more time the screen with videos from the beginning? I think we're talking about the video backgrounds, and let's go back to this one.
Yes, this one.
This is a video background. You see all the colors in the explosion from here. That's the video background. It's just a YouTube video used as a background.
However, you can add on this container, like in the background image, you can also add paragraphs on top of it. So on top of the video, you can add like a title that we have described here, but also a link to the page.
Yeah. So the text on this one is coming from the paragraph and is a layover of the video. So back to, yeah, we saw the product videos, and the next one.
Yes. So another thing that we also looked at was be able to configure the mini cart as well. Here we can, when you add a product to the cart, then a drop down will appear. However, we also have made that opportunity that we can ask the customer if they want to continue shopping or if they want to proceed to the checkout. So they will be aware of which kind of action they actually will choose, just to indicate that they have that possibility to go directly to the checkout. And also we have some made some correction regarding how the counter are designed, or if you want to show the price of the full cart. Another thing that we have worked on is the loyalty points and point shop. The main difference with this is that with the loyalty points only, you can have a shop having points, while they also can pay for the product with the regular currency as well. So if you have set a loyalty point price here, there will be a button say add to cart or buy it with 150 points if the user has that. And this section will of course only appear if you are logged in as a user, because we're looking at your balance and that. Whereas regarding the point shop, this is a shop for its own, only having some specific products. And with this, you cannot buy it with regular currency, but only can buy this with some earned points that you have gathered based on purchasing items. Then you will get a reward for that.
Yep. And I'll talk to you a bit about the extensibility of Rapido 3.0. Some of the feedback that we got from you on the 2.0 version was some more options to do customizations without touching the templates. And we basically have these 3 layers of extensibility in Rapido. The CSS, which is changes to the design itself, And we have the Ignite concept. And then we have our templates, and in 3.0 we have a new feature called the blocks, and the blocks are a way to add new information into existing templates. So there's an example on the screen here where we're standing on the product detail page, where we have the description and the properties, the price and stock status, image, and so on. And what is possible in 3.0 is to create a template block that you insert into this product detail template without touching our version of it. And in this example, I've inserted an insurance block that shows some additional insurance information related to the products. And this can be done without using or without touching our standard templates. And that makes it possible to upgrade the standard templates in coming versions, or if you have a hotfix as we just released the other day. So there are some benefits on that. And also, of course, we have the JavaScript extensibility also present in 2.0, but extended in 3.0 with a lot of new events that you can listen to. And you can basically make add-ins to things that happens with JavaScript, like adding things to the cart or browsing to the next page of products and so on. And there's a question, is it possible to add points to a user based on behavior, clicks, read an article, download? No, it's not possible. It's only related to e-commerce behavior. And talking a little more about the extensibility points for templates, these blocks that can be inserted in different places are supported in not all of the templates currently, but it is possible to add things to the master template. And the master template is the one that carries the entire design with the navigation and top tools and footer and stuff like that. And it also contains the mini card, so it's actually possible to add new buttons to the mini card or new rows of information into the mini card. Then we have the product list and the product page, as I showed you, where you can add new blocks of information or features without touching the standard templates. And there's a lot of documentation related to all of this on the documentation portal, where you can read about how you can do this and also download some examples of these blocks. So that brings us to the hotfix we just released the other day. 3.0 was out in September, and we had some websites running on that and some reports from you. Thank you, all of that. And we released the hotfix with a number of new features, but also a lot of bug fixing in that one. And Jennifer will just give you a couple of notes on that.
So one of the main things that we got from you guys is that, yes, it was really nice with the overlay and pop-up and so on, but there were some elements that were missing because maybe you don't want to show this for the user every single time they load the page. So therefore, in the 3.0.1, we have determined a time frame for when the overlay is displaying, and this was one of your questions, Søren. And it is now on that version, you can define if you should appear again after a user have seen it for 24 hours, 15 days, or 30 days. Other than that, you can also define which group the overlay should be shown to, if it should be shown for all user, anonymous user, login users from a specific group, or just exclude some user from a list for that. And you can also say that if you have a button on the overlay, you are able to not to show that specific overlay if that specific call to action button is clicked. So I hope that answers some of your questions, Søren. But that is one of the not bug fixes, but extra features that we have added to the overlay. And then we have also a long list of different bug fixes that we gathered from you guys, and you can see the list on our documentation site as well. And hopefully you also have got some report from support regarding of those fixes that you have reported. Then there's just some examples of the Rapido 3.0 regarding design examples, because beforehand we have only the bike shop, but we also try to set up a clothing shop as well, just to show you guys different kind of expression on Rapido. So I will just go through these kind of elements here. So as mentioned before, we have the Rapido 3.0.1 release, and oops, sorry, I will just go back. In February, we will release the Rapido 3.1, and we have some different features that will appear there, and some of them is also close connected to the Dynamicweb release that we have in January, but we will have presets in website settings, which will allow you to pick some predefined setup of the websites that we already have. So you have those predefined design you can pick on, but you're still allowed to edit the settings as you do today. Other than that, we have looked more into how to improve for how you're picking the different colors in the website settings, because right now it's really tedious. You need to write every time the hex code that you're using on the different places. So we try to play with some color swatches regarding to reuse those colors when you have defined it once. And also we have looked at different kind of color suggestions as well. Then we will look into more regarding configuration for articles, because right now the articles we have for blog and lists are really defined. We cannot really access it with extensibility points, or there's no kind of configuration for it. So we try to make it more dynamic and try to have some more option regarding the setup for that. We also looked into employee list that you can have by pulling out some user from the user management and list it up, and where you can filter the different kind of users depending on the department they are coming from. And then we will look into more card configuration, so you are able to have a modal view, a panel, or a drop down as you have today, and different ways to present it as well. Then there will be external authentication, so you can log in with Facebook or Twitter. We will look into manage user in the customer center, so you as a salesperson can create users in your customer center as well. And right now the digital warehouse has been really still, so we will try to see how we can improve that as well. And then there will also be some minor improvements for that. So in our,
Yeah, some of you have solutions running on 2.0 or 2 something of Rapido, and it's possible to upgrade to 3.0. It takes a little effort though. So before upgrading, you have to read the information on the doc site that explains how to do all of this. One of the issues with the upgrade from 2.0 to 3.0 because of the website settings is that the data structure is a bit different. So you need to, when you upgrade an existing solution, you have to go through your website setting and save it again to upgrade it, or you can ask our support department. They're able to do this for you. They know exactly what to do and get it up and running. Yeah, and we're working on a website settings converter from 2.1 to 3.0. Unfortunately, it has been a bit delayed because of some planning issues. So, but it's possible to go through these things manually or use our support for it. So more information on this. Be aware that Rapido has its own area in the doc sites where you can find introduction to all of these things and release notes and how to upgrade and develop. And this documentation is fully up to date with 3.0 information. So everything you need should be in here. And if anything is missing, just give us a note and we'll make sure that it will be on the website. And of course, also be aware of the forum. We have a specific Rapido page in here for discussions or questions or ideas related to Rapido. So be sure to use this one. You get access to the developers that is sitting on the product. So they're really, of course, able to answer the questions, and all of the other guys using Rapido can also see the answers and gain that information as well. So please join in here. So I think that's it for this webinar. In just 10 minutes time, I think 20 minutes time, we have the Rapido partner meeting for those of you who have attended the Rapido partner program. And if you have not attended that yet or wants to do that, give your account manager a call or drop him an email if you want to hear more of the Rapido partner program. So that's it for today. Thank you all for joining. If you have any last minute questions, just feel free to ask them now. And otherwise, we'll see you on the other side of Christmas. And may you all have a nice and warm Christmas. There's a question from Rasmus. What is B2B on product page? Yeah, I don't think we have the PowerPoint. What we have some screen dumps on related to this. And what we're doing is we're adding some new features to the product detail page, especially so instead of ordering one product at a time and choosing one color at a time, you get a matrix of the variants and some features to search multiple products in one go and adding several into the cart in one go. So it's to support some of these scenarios where you have purchasers that buys larger amounts of products in one order. There might also be some more interesting things coming later on the other side of 3.1 related to business B2A solutions and so on. But more information on that actually on the partner webinar in 20 minutes.
But some of the things also for the B2B is it was actually in the improvement section as well. So it is some of the things, the way we render the variant list as we do now, try to have a improvement for that and better support for that as well. Because there can be a lot of information regarding that list, regarding what kind of product fields that you want to present.
Okay, that's it. No more questions, it seemed like. So bye all. Thank you for attending and see you.